We have a new ruling. The NSA program spying in on all Americans. Sorry, unconstitutional. U.S. District Judge Richard Leon saying, sorry, your program clearly violates the Fourth Amendment. First of all, he says, I cannot imagine a more indiscriminate and arbitrary invasion than this systematic and high-tech collection and retention of personal data on virtually every single citizen for purposes of querying it and analyzing it without judicial approval. The judge is absolutely right about that. That's what we've been saying from day one. You know what's interesting? The guy who brought this lawsuit is actually a total madman. His name is Larry Klayman. He brought it along with Charles Strange. Don't know much about Charles. Even though his name is strange, Larry Klayman is far stranger. He's a fairly respected conservative. He's the founder and former chairman of Judicial Watch, which you might have heard of in the news, and he's also started Freedom Watch. These are groups that are supposed to be watching out to see how liberal the media is. Yeah, I know the corporate media is really, really liberal. Okay, but that's not all. He once sued his mom for $50,000. Okay, and then threatened to sue people for revealing it because the Clinton administration had leaked that. Of course they did. Yeah, they care a lot about you, Larry. He did a Reclaim America rally where they were going to rally for Obama's impeachment. He said millions would show up in D.C. Less than 100 did. Okay, and he told Obama once, quote, put the Quran down and come with your hands up, okay, out of the White House. Now, nonetheless, I tell you that because he's actually right in this case, and that's what I love about our democracy. You don't have to agree with people. They could be crazy right-wing, or you could think I'm crazy left-wing. I don't care. Nobody cares about that if you've got a functioning democracy. As long as we all recognize what the Constitution actually says and fight towards it. And there are times when right-wingers and left-wingers are actually far, far more adherent to the Constitution than the so-called establishment. The bipartisan agreement is to usually screw us. So let me read you the part of the Constitution that's relevant here. It's the Fourth Amendment, and that's what the judge, of course, based his decision on. And it says, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. Okay? Well, obviously you're not secure in your persons, houses, and papers and effects without a court order if they're going in and not getting a court order and finding out where your papers are. They're finding out who you called, when you called, how long the call took, etc., right? So it's clearly the right decision by the judge. And then finally, this is really important. He said that in the entire proceedings, and he had a 68-page ruling here, filled with footnotes, etc., right? And by the way, the judge also appointed by George W. Bush. And so it doesn't matter if you're right or left if you actually read the Constitution, right? And we can all agree on the core principles because we should all be Americans on this, of course, unless it's the big business and big government that have colluded to take away our rights, right? It's big business that cooperates and say, oh, yeah, I'll do private contractors. Yeah, I'll do that for you, no problem. And big government who can't wait to intrude upon your lives. But he said that during the entire proceedings, the government didn't cite a single instance in which the program, quote, actually stopped an imminent terrorist attack. Not one instance could they show that this program actually stopped any attacks. It did violate the privacy rights of 300 million Americans, but never stopped a terrorist attack. And that should be the most important thing. Now, this is not the end-all, be-all. Yes, he's a federal-level judge, but he's also actually even stayed his own ruling because it's going to, of course, be appealed by the government. And he says, of course, it's a big national security issue, so this ruling will only go into effect after the appeal is heard, and then it could go all the way up to the Supreme Court, of course. But this is the first step, and it's a great step, where we have a judge saying, well, obviously this violates the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution, and what the NSA is doing is just like the critics on the left and the right said, and by the way, in the middle as well, not Washington's middle, but in the country's middle, all said it was wrong and it was unconstitutional.